All right, good morning, friends, and welcome to a very summery, springy time. The reason I'm bringing this over here is not what I'm going to talk about, but just to invite you to use chalk pastels for very expressive Georgia O'Keeffe-like drawings. Chalk is good for big spaces. Notice how big my paper is, and that is what chalk is good for. So if you have any drawings over the summer that you want to do that you can make big with not a lot of fine details, go ahead and try a chalk drawing. I did put a piece of chalk in your bag, and if you get out a black piece of paper, you could do a chalk drawing. Now, I was inspired by this artwork to create our next artwork, which is working on a styrofoam plate. Okay, I put 2 styrofoam plates, and if it broke a little on the edge, that's fine. What you can do is if you draw something and get it perfect, I strongly advise you to do that. I remember lots of students when I was your age, they didn't do a practice drawing. And so what I just did was I did my practice drawing, and I just drew an image of a flower, but you can draw anything. Remember Georgia O'Keeffe we learned about? So if you're like, oh, I'll do her again, I'll find a different flower. That might be good, and put the center of the flower in the center so it looks more like an abstract. All right, and when you're ready, when you have your drawing and you're ready, if you have a pen, I strongly encourage you to use a pen. And then I am going to put this right here and then flip it over. I'm going to get this out of here now. Flip it over. And this is for lesson 49, which is not there yet, but it will shortly. All right. And now I'm just going to trace over what I did in a pen. And I can clearly see it. If you can't clearly see it, then definitely go over it in a Sharpie marker or something so that you can see what you drew. All right. And then once you draw it, oh my gosh, it's just so much easier. So let's see, I think I pulled it out to there. Maybe I'll make some lines. All right, and then this one. Okay, so now I see that I can see it, all right? So now I'm going to go over it so I can see it better, right? And you just have to make sure you're at a light where the light is shining somewhere so you can see that you have it. And try not to slow down. I realize that's hard, especially if you can't see, but make sure you see the beginning and end of the line. That line I didn't see the end before I started. All right, and so I want to make sure I got it all. And then bring that one down, this one down. Where's my third little P? Maybe I didn't do it. Just make sure, all right? And then I'm going to go ahead and just push down some more. All right. Now, I would like you to be a little slower, Miss Kay. Notice there's class coming, and I wanted to make sure I got that done before somebody comes in here. All right, so there, and I could do my background, like a pattern, or just a starburst. What you're doing is you're pushing the styrofoam down. Okay, you are pushing the styrofoam down, so you can see a positive and a negative shape. I'm pushing down the negative background right now, all right? And my positive shape, my flower shape, is still right there, all right? So there, let's go ahead and just for fun do that. All right, now this is not my color, just so you know. The next step is you will put some paint, and let me get my black paper. Where did my black paper go? Well, let's just do this first. You get your paint out that I gave you and just paint over it. All right. Now this is trial and error. You might have to go over it a couple times. If you know you're not going to paint over it, like right there, you could leave it blank. All right, so I'm going over the positive space. The places that are pushed down should stay looking pushed down without paint. Okay. And I'm trying to get the paint going all one direction. All right, but this again is called a print. We're going to learn about a print, and then we're going to do this. And this is in your bag. Make sure it's all in there enough. Make sure you wash your brush out when you are done. And here is my black paper. I suggest you use that black paper. Now, you know what? I'm just going to go around and make sure that I know where my edge is. All right, so I just went around like that. All right, and then I'm going to put it in the middle of my paper. Now, if you messed up and running out of paper, you could put one here and one here. Now I'm going to push down. This is called burnishing. Whoops, you're not supposed to do that. All right, but printmaking, I had printmaking in college, and oh my gosh, friends, I would stay so many nights there because of this. Technically, see, I could just go over that with a black marker after it dries, but your fingers should be really clean. And then you're just going to push down. You could also use a different kind of paint. I noticed my paint is a little dried up. Put your lid on when you're done. All right, and you want to just make sure and then flip it over and go over it one more time. Don't rip your paper, just stay in the middle and feel where the edges are. All right, and try to get it so it goes in those holes where you made those big thick lines. All right, and then once you have gone on both sides, go ahead and peel. It's sort of cool that my pen did ink out. Peel slowly. You don't want to rip your paper because my paint is a little sticky. And if anything, it creates just a very neat abstract drawing. All right, and so this is called a print that you just made, and it's under the kind of, you could major in printmaking. I don't suggest that though. And make sure all your prints. Now the cool thing with this is you can make many. You don't have to make just one. You could wash this off and you could put a green paint on and do the same thing to a red piece of paper. That's the fun thing with prints, is you get to change it. Also, you could go back in, I don't want to ruin my pen, and make your lines thicker if you wanted to. But see, the negative space is not painted. because it's the background. So I look forward to seeing your lesson 49, friends, how to make a print. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. And don't forget, chalk pastels is what this is. So make sure you work big and not detailed when you make a chalk pastel artwork. All right, friends, have fun. I love you. Have a great day.